Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious. You can join us in broadening our minds on the Nameless Debates Discord via the link below, and even feature here yourself, if you've got what it takes.
Yeah, he is. I haven't gone much further past Justinian yet. I will though. But I mean, like that's from Romulus Augustulus to Justinian.
So, who's your favorite general then, Crambo?
That's a hard question, man.
What about you, Julius?
Captain Crunch.
I like General. He was pretty good. He pioneered the concept of total war, which was really interesting at the time.
Who was that?
William Tecumseh Sherman, a Civil War general.
No, fair enough.
Was Sun Tzu a general?
Yes.
I only know of him because of Team Fortress 2. But he sounds like a cool guy.
I guess actually, I think the best example of an Eastern while he's actually more considered an admiral, he was also a general and a land officer as well for most of his life. Would be Admiral Yi. Probably the best example is someone from the East. No, you're not familiar with him?
Not really. I don't know a lot about Chinese history.
No, he's not Chinese. He's Korean, and
I know even less about that.
He did like crazy stuff. Like he defeated like a Japanese fleet that was literally like
defeating a Japanese fleet is a big accomplishment.
Well, no, he defeated a fleet that was like 30, 40 times his size because he understood Western naval warfare. He was able to grasp it when no one else in East Asia was.
Okay.
And he basically like independently came to these conclusions of how to use cannons on the water and stuff, and defeated like giant Japanese fleets and pretty much saved Korea from like invasion time and time.
That sounds like the type of thing that would only work like once, though.
He managed to make things work multiple times, and he came up with new things all the time.
Well, that's the hard part, is making it work more than once.
And that's the point, right? And the funny thing was, he accidentally ended up in a naval position. He was a land officer his whole life, and it was really sad because of how corrupt Korea was at the time. What happened to him was he several times was saved from execution. So he would work his way up through sheer competency to like a high ranking position. Then like through corruption and manipulation be brought back down to like the lowest ranking private, effectively like a private first class, like modern equivalency, just because of corruption and shit, and because of how competent he was. He'd piss people off. He'd just do like a bunch of shit to get him done. And so like he was nearly executed like 3 times. And this is way before the war and stuff, but he would just like keep serving and stuff and work his way back up.
Dude, you know who broke the epitome of war?
What, Terrence? Tell us. Enlighten us with your wisdom.
Leroy Jenkins.
So is it okay when Terrence does it, Julius?
No, my tone was completely ending then. I have no respect for Terrence.
Is Leroy Jenkins actually like a historical figure or anything, or was he just a reference?
He was a basketball player.
Oh, okay.
No.
I mean, you know, Crambo, that I do not treat Terrence as a serious actor. I have him completely written off as a person.
I like Terrence.
You can like him. See, okay, well, why do people think that saying they like something is like a valid, like, has some kind of changes?
Well, it's just as valid as saying you dislike him.
No, I'm not saying I dislike him. I didn't say I disliked him. I said I don't consider him a serious actor. I didn't say the words dislike. I said serious
Okay,
actor.
my mistake.
Yeah, it's such a different claim. Like when I'm just like, I was arguing with someone, I'm like, this movie is bad for these reasons. I'm like, well, I like the movie. I'm like, you can like bad things. doesn't make them not bad.
I like plenty of bad things. It's great.
I mean, the most famous example I think is like that I can think of in modern media is like the original Street Fighter movie. Has anyone seen that?
No.
Anyone else, or am I just too old?
Spider-Man.
Does anyone
3.
watch like really campy bad movies?
No. I don't like
Spider-Man 3 is the greatest movie ever made.
Is that the one with where the Tobey Maguire one where he's Venom?
No, well, no, I don't think I think Peter Parker, or Tobey Maguire wasn't. It was generally considered pretty bad.
The one where he's like dancing along the street.
I think.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking horrible.
I mean, they made the Sandman out to be a really bad guy, even though he was collecting money for his daughter, who was dying.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the point is like, bad movies can be very, very enjoyable. Your enjoyment of something isn't indicative of whether or not it's good.
You ever seen Zombievers?
No, that sounds terrible.
It was a 1-star. No, it was a half-star movie on Netflix. It's about beavers that turn people into zombievers.
That sounds like one of the worst zombie
It was
concepts I've ever heard.
awful. It was awful.
Did you enjoy
I've
it?
heard.
And it was hilarious to watch because of how awful it was. And of all the like nudity and booby shots they tried to sneak in. I guess get more click. That's when you know a bad movie's good, when they just show a nipple every other shot to try and keep people watching. Terrence, are you still in here? No, he left. Damn.
Terrence didn't want to enlighten us with his wisdom.
I asked him to, and he didn't. How rude.
I can't even
See,
remember what
you give people a chance to engage, and they just run away.
You sound like Brian now.
What? Please don't. I don't know. Isn't that like meme-y Australian ethno-nat?
No.
What is he? He just memes.
He memes in group chats. When you get him alone, he's really serious. You can have meaningful discussions with him.
What positions does he actually hold?
He's a dirty leftist like you.
Okay, I just assumed he was an ethno-nat because of how he engaged.
a dirty left.
I
No,
literally just assumed people that
He self-identifies as a degenerate.
he self-identifies as what?
Degenerate.
Okay, that's good. It's a shame he can't engage more seriously.
Is he the one that's a Chinese guy living in California right now?
No, that's the dude that just got kicked from the server.
Oh, for what?
Being a dumbass.
I mean, if he wants to come back, I'm sure he can come back. I don't know if he was banned.
What did he do? What was this like straw that broke the camel's back?
He came in here and just started like memeing aggressively, talking over everybody.
Wow.
Having a good conversation, and he came and shut up the whole chat.
Yeah, and then when he got muted, he sat there and argued about the rules, and I think that's the quickest way to get banned, right? If you get muted and you're you're socially intelligent, what you go is like, hey guys, I'm sorry that I got. Whether or not you genuinely believe it, you just sit there and you just take the fucking pill. You take the beating and you're just like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to act that way. Can you please unmute me? And you just fucking get unmuted.
He wasn't even kicked. I guess he just left the server. Damn.
Like you can play the social game, right? You can just literally. It's so easy to get like not banned from places and get yourself unmuted. The point is like I was having this argument with someone else the other day. Is if you get banned or kicked from a bunch of servers, I think it's indicative of your inability to respect or follow social contracts.
Yeah.
And he was having a massive disagreement with me on it, but I think it really is. Because it's so easy to not get banned and kicked from servers.
To an extent, depending on if the rules of the server are ridiculous or not. But in general speaking, like I was in another debate channel and there was a guy who was banned from it, and they said if an alt account comes in and we're in a channel with him and we don't report him, we'll get banned too.
Yeah, Achilles was right. He didn't even get kicked. He just left.
I mean, maybe that's the
He
case,
was,
right?
but
So
he was.
some
Yeah.
servers have ridiculous rules. However, whether or not you think those rules are ridiculous, those are the rules of that given server, right? So if someone comes into if you go into someone's house and they're like, I have this, if you enter my house, I have these rules. Do you therefore and if you, by agreeing to enter that house, you agree to follow those rules. And if you don't want to follow those rules, don't enter that house, right?
No, yeah, it's the same concept of going into Walmart and yelling the N-word and them saying, hey, you can't do that in here. And you going,
no matter how
isn't this
stupid
a
you
free
personally
country?
think it is, and no matter how personally you think it is that you can either follow it or don't. This is how, and these aren't even implicit in terms of Discord. They're explicit social contracts, so they're even easier.
Yeah, a lot of servers have clear written rules on what you can and can't.
Clear written rules. And if you choose not to follow them, it is at your own risk. Generally, ignorance is not a defense.
Now, I'm only angry when they're inconsistent with their rules. With some people, they give exceptions, and with others, they don't, or just ignore it blatantly when other people do break rules.
I think the best way to deal with that, and it's really shit. A lot of people consider this shit, but it's actually not to have hyper-specific rules. I think that's why. I think this is why a lot of companies have moved away. You can see this on like a company level, have moved away from having really, really specific rule sets. Because if you have really specific rule sets, people will just rules lawyer and argue against you. As where if you have like a more generalized rule, where the moderation team or like in the corporate world, I think they can use it, where they get to interpret it.
Yeah, like it's open to an arbitrator, kind of. If you like, you have a policy. And if you're like say you have a policy and you have a company card or something, and they say if you're using that for excessive things, or if you're excessively using it and they don't define what excessive is, that's better on their part because then I actually think it gives them more wiggle room.
Not define excessive, right? Because when you do, because if you define excessive as not spending above $10,000, people will spend $9,999.
Yeah,
that's what happens, and so like a rule I've seen that I quite like on one of the servers is that they like we moderate for quality, and that means tone, tact, and quality of something. And if you violate tone and tact, you get moderated. What's tone and tact? Nebulous concepts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they not inherently nebulous?
No, they are.
Exactly. And so you can argue, well, I didn't violate tone and tact. Well, we think you did. And it's out, and as the staff team get to be like, well, we interpreted that you did that via our interpretation of tone and tact. You did that, and that's the only justification you need.
Right. Welcome back.
Which you could argue is like really shitty, but it actually allows for like effective control.
Yeah. More open-ended rules than closed and shut cases.
Yeah, I actually think open-ended rules are far better than closed rules, which is probably unpopular opinion. I've noticed, yeah. Although, would you consider that inconsistent?
What?
Would you consider open-end rules to be inconsistent?
It depends. You'd have to.
Depends on the enforcement.
One way on one person and another way on another person, and that could be used against them in the future. So that is a way open-ended rules could actually end up biting them in the ass.
Open-ended rules are fine as long as you pay attention to the precedents you're setting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say that Nameless Debates is moderately open-ended rules.
Yeah, and we pay attention to precedent.
Yeah,
we try to at least. It can be difficult to pay attention to precedents. That's why you need documentation. Like obviously we're not a legal service, but someone like a lawyer or like a company would probably hire a paralegal or some sort of accountant to keep track of all the precedents.
There's logs of everything on the server.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of good servers keep that. I don't think that you're unfair in your bans at all, Achilles. You actually have a moderation team that actually does something. That's actually usually how I do. That's actually one of the ways I think is one of the best ways of defining of whether or not a server kind of has worth to it, rather immediately, is whether or not the moderation team even enforces anything.
Yeah, like Count Dankula's Discord. It's a
If you're-
fucking wasteland.
If you're doing it right, you don't have to moderate all that much.
I mean, I disagree. I just think, I think with Discord, it's impossible not to.
You ever been in Count Dankula's Discord?
No, but what is it like?
Yeah.
Just a shit show?
It's shitty.
Well, my friend got banned from it because one of the admins in it was at everyone. Like, he kept doing at everyone. And he joined in and said, "Wow, you're a comedic genius. I wish I was up to your stature." And then got banned. Because he mocked the admin.
I got banned for just annoying an admin. So it's just a personal shit show up.
Even in the rules, it says admins may just ban you for no reason. Sorry, not our fault. It's just a complete wasteland.
Yeah, so an active moderation team, an example of a shit moderation team, I guess. I just would never go there in the first place.
No, I go on there every once in a while, just shit post and be obnoxious. I have to let it out every once in a while.
You know, considering Count Dankula, I guess that would be the purpose of his server.
I used to be a terrible person online.
What do you mean you used to be?
I still am, but I used to be awful. I used to make people
I don't know.
cry.
I've don't have much respect for I attempt to preface this with no offense, but I guess take offense if you wish, but I don't particularly consider these YouTubers, etc., to be very serious, or people who follow them seriously to be very serious people.
Well, no, I would agree that I probably within the past year I've kind of strayed away from those YouTubers a bit. I realized Count Dankula, he's good at arguing at a very specific type of liberal. The triggly puff quotation marks liberal, and when he doesn't have one of those to argue with, he kind of falls apart.
Yeah, honestly, if you put him up against if you put most of those YouTubers up against like he probably couldn't argue against King Tan. I don't know, but maybe he could probably beat King Tan, but he probably couldn't beat Terrence.
Destiny, I saw him debate Destiny, and
what Destiny shot on him?
I think he's a Twitch debater guy. I'm banned from
I know who
Destiny's
Destiny
Discord.
is. I used to play StarCraft too. I know who Destiny is.
Yeah, but he was debating him, and Count Dankula was like, "Well, right or left wing people are way more violent," and Destiny was like, "Well, according to this poll, right wing people are actually more likely to commit, violent acts." And Count Dankula was like, "Well, I don't believe that." And so Destiny was like, "Okay, can you like cite me some piece of counter evidence?" And Count Dankula was like, "I've seen videos of Antifa attacking people." He's like, "Okay, can you like cite me some empirical data that shows they do it more often than right-wing people?" And he's like, "Well, you don't understand. I've seen hundreds of videos." And then he laughed. He laughed like he won.
While like these YouTubers had traction at some point, people have kind of learned over the time that if you actually take Sargon seriously, you're probably a fuckwit. If he still takes Sargon
sometimes
seriously,
he's an interesting person. I mean, he does make some okay viewpoints, but he's just one of those people. I call it the Howard Stern effect, when someone who maybe initially had some good viewpoints lets the fucking power get to their head, and they think people care about everything they have to say, and everything that flows from their mouth is fucking manna from the
Wait, are you
heavens.
saying that you don't care what the soy father has to say?
The stepfather, you mean?
Stepfather? Do you not care about what the stepfather has? Are you not saying the stepfather's words are inherently valuable?
What? I don't get this metaphor.
I think that if Sargon of Akkad is something, then that's the logical proof of it being true.
It's a bit of a meme on site. It's something that people colloquially call him.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I was going to follow it up. With next thing you're going to tell me that Trout and Tea isn't to be taken seriously.
No, I rather like Sargon though.
I liked some of his things he did in acts of protest, like training his pug to go Heil Hitler.
Oh, that's
I thought that
Count
was-
Dankula.
That was
He
Dankula.
didn't do that. He
Oh,
didn't
I
do that
got
in
them
active
completely
protest.
mixed up. I'm sorry. I
He,
got them completely mixed up.
Count Dankula just did that to like. That was the thing. That was what started him, and that blew up. He didn't really do it as a protest. He just did it as a personal joke among friends and with his girlfriend
Yeah.
and shit.
I don't know. I don't follow Sargon as much. I used to follow Count Dankula a bit.
I
think
don't
he's-
think Sargon has. Occasionally, Sargon will say something of value, but he's only really saying something of value when he's doing history stuff or like breakdowns of things. Everything
watch
else
it?
is just low-hanging fruit. Sargon can't debate. Sargon has
That's-
lost debate
That's
against
true.
feminists and the alt-right. He can't debate anyone.
Sargon's not all that good at debating. And I disagree with a lot of his positions, but I do think that he has things of value to say on occasion.
Oh wait, you actually have a lawyer for this server, Achilles? Is that just someone on the server, or did you specifically get a shit? He left the server. I have to ping him later.
Achilles has a lawyer on retainer for this server.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's
But
Sargon. He always pushed the narrative of the us versus them crap with the right versus the left. It's always been us versus them, and to them, it's always been them versus us and
no.
us versus them.
He walked away from the left, and he considers himself to be a centrist now. I don't think he pulled the.
walked away from
he-
left. He was never a part of left, dude.
He
That
said
was
he's
I-
center
the
I-
left.
left's
I-
contention.
I'd tell you the same thing, but he used to consider himself left.
Yeah, he
He's
used
center-
to,
he
and the
says
left
he's
was
center
like,
left.
"No, you're not."
Yeah.
He used to take the political compass test, right? I've seen the videos. He took the
Yeah.
political compass test, was 1 point to the left, and said, "Oh, that makes me left." No, that's not how left works. Just because you're like 1 point to the left, he was always a centrist. He just
Yeah, he's
laughed
like
as a
a
fucking leftist.
anarchist,
Yeah, probably.
centrist kind of look, I guess. Is that self-contradictory? Anarchist, centrist.
No, that's fine.
I mean, obviously,
they're
the
centrist, like,
political compass is
anarchists.
kind of an inefficient way to measure your.
Yeah, I actually prefer
Political.
that values test over it. You can imagine how filthy left mine is.
Disgusting. I bet it's so it wraps around to the right. Horseshoe theory.
It's difficult. You ever watch Three Arrows on YouTube?
Yeah, no, but I watch ContraPoints and Bad Mass Productions. I've seen Three Arrows, but I don't like his.
Bad Mouse is awful.
Bad Mouse
Three
is
Arrows
great.
is actually left wing, I believe, and he makes
Yeah, Three Arrows is properly left.
Yeah, he makes some interest. Like he made a video on if the Nazi Party was actually left wing, and it's like I think he concluded that you really can't place them anywhere. They're kind of weird because Hitler was not really a National Socialist. He just kind of took over the Nazis.
So here you go, Crammed. You can rage about this in Tavern Text chat. But
I bet I'll just puke, dude. It's gonna be awful. I want to see Adderite's political compass results and
What? Wait, it says. What the hell? It just deemed it to be explicit.
What are you? Wait, what? Tavern Text
Your
chat?
leftism is too disgusting for Discord, man.
Wait, what? Posted in Tavern Text chat.
He tried to post a picture of his political compass results.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and join us in the Nameless Debates Discord. We hope to see you there.